welcome back everybody to a brand new episode of the Shuffle Pod. We are back now with episode number 12. Episode number 12 here, and we got another guest, a recurring guest. I think this is our first repeat guest, and that is, of course, PJ himself. What's up, PJ?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's up, bro? Glad to have you back on.
I'm happy to be here. Absolutely. I love it. I love being on the podcast. I love what you people do for the Shuffle Squad, and I'm happy to be a part of it every time.
Yeah, you used to run the Shuffle Pod beforehand, like back in the old days.
I did. It was John and myself, and then we added on Lindsay, and we're like, Lindsay's too good. We got to have her on all the time.
I was your first
taking
guest.
Over.
Yes.
And I was your first guest too. There you go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so this week we do have some interesting topics to talk about. We do want to kind of talk about some of the new cards from Silver Tempest. Of course, for the most part, I think the entire set's been kind of revealed by now. I don't think there's any new cards coming out from the set. And we want to talk about all the new cards. There's a lot of big ones. A few of the new V-Stars are looking pretty good. And then we also want to quickly touch upon the new Pokemon TCG Live update that happened actually, by the time you're watching this, it'll be last week. When recording this, it was actually yesterday. But PTCG Live came out with a new update that changed how the game played and looked when playing the game itself. And it's actually a pretty good update, believe it or not. And we'll have all our thoughts and opinions on that. Before we get into all that, of course, the weekly roundup. So, how has your weeks been, y'all? Let's start with Lindsay. How's your week been?
My week has been pretty good, kind of uneventful for me. Not too much has happened since our last podcast. I've really just been working all week. That's pretty much about it. Just been working. Have some friends coming in from out of town, so I am off tomorrow and Friday, and I'll be occupied with that all weekend. But other than that, I've just been working all week. Kind of lame, kind of boring. Boo.
What about you, PJ?
Yeah.
I've been cautiously constructing decks, actually. I've been kind of I have a big, like, 1.5 foot wide table that's like the big fold-out table, and I use that to do all my testing, and I build cubes on there and all kinds of things. So it's like my creator's den that I have here. But I've been making a lot of standard decks, obviously, to keep my chops up, playing standard format, and then getting ready for the upcoming regionals, because I am missing, unfortunately, Salt Lake City, which at the recording is happening this weekend, but then going to Toronto and then Arlington in December. So we'll be jamming it in there. So I'm just like mentally preparing. I have a couple of local tournaments coming up too, so I just want to, like I said, stay fresh. Make sure that I'm doing that. And then obviously, work, family, kids, wife, the whole 9 yards here. So it's been busy running the Shuffle Squad. It's my home away from home here.
Yeah.
So busy week as always.
Yeah, my week's been kind of the same old, creating content. Of course, I did play the new Pokemon TCG Live update yesterday on stream for a bit. It was pretty, again, I think the update's good. We'll touch upon that later. The rest of the week, I've just been again, following up on what I said in the last episode, I've just been watching a lot of horror stuff. I've been rewatching Treehouse of Horror every year. It's my tradition to rewatch that. And then I just finished up on the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, which is apparently
it worth it?
It's good. It's very good. Yeah. I recommend watching it. It's, there's actually a bit of a social talk about it right now, whether or not because the documentary is now the second most watched Netflix show of all time. I think either behind Squid Game or Stranger Things. So it's there's a lot of takes on that where it's people are should this be a thing about the victims, the people that were affected by Jeffrey Dahmer, because this is not a fiction. This is actual thing that really happened, and it didn't happen that long ago. You know what I'm saying? So
right. Yeah,
it's just saying that it's the victims are they should be upset about it. Is that what the argument is, or
Yeah, it's having this show become so popular. It just feels kind of. It's hard to explain. You'd have to look up the discourse online or whatever. I just seen a lot of discourse on Twitter between this. One of the most popular quote tweets that I saw yesterday was when the Netflix tweeted out it was the second most popular show or whatever. Somebody quote tweeted I'm happy that I did not participate in any of this, and it has over 200,000 likes or something. And a lot of people are talking about how these serial killer documentaries that are based on real things are kind of bad for the I guess like especially on Netflix, how it's like bad and stuff. So I don't know. It's like it's interesting.
Yeah.
The show's good though. It's good. Evan Peters plays Jeffrey Dahmer. Does a really good job playing it. There's a few episodes that are
he's good at
really
playing
good.
a psychopath.
Yeah, I know him as Quicksilver, but he's Jeffrey Dahmer too.
Yeah. I mean, the acting chops. I mean, I'm a fan of American Horror Story, so like just watching that man do his thing, episode after episode is just, it's like watching magic happen in front of you. But yeah, I mean, it's spooky season, right? It's the spooky season to
That's
watch
what
all
I'm
those.
saying. That's why it's so popular right now.
That's
like
right.
I go on TikTok and all I see is like Jeffrey Dahmer videos and then the Walk to Poland videos. So
yeah.
my TikTok view page has been kind of insane.
Little fun fact, I actually live like maybe 10 minutes away from the jail that holds the Son of Sam. If you watched that old school movie, you can go back and watch that. I forget if it's called Son of Sam or something like that, but it's pretty interesting to be close to like a celebrity murderer, I guess, in that sense. But no,
I know
fun
you mean,
spooky
like,
things for Halloween season.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I live like 40 minutes away from Drake's house, so I could literally like any day just like drive by there and just see his house. And maybe I've seen him before, believe it or not. It's like it was very brief though, but it was kind of cool.
Drake's just murdering bars, not people. So
yeah, exactly. He's spitting. But anyways, now that the weekly roundup is over, we can now talk about one of the big topics we wanted to discuss, and that was Pokemon TCG Live's new update. So I think it was like back in August, Pokemon tweeted out this new, like a video of what they wanted, like what the game was going to look like with this update. And it took, I think, at least like 2 months for it to kind of officially roll out. Because again, it just came out like yesterday, and it's a good update. Obviously, PTCG Live got pretty trashed on by most of the community. A lot of the big YouTubers, myself included, we all kind of like, trashed on the game, did videos like hating on it, but for good reason, because it's like our job, it's our livelihood. We don't want the game to like destroy the community and like destroy our channels because people don't like watching it and playing it. And we want it to be better than PTCGO. And I even said this, I did a review video on TCG Live that I uploaded today that I made last night. Kind of giving my thoughts. As a content creator, I think it's important to give my thoughts and opinions on live because I know somebody at Pokemon will probably watch it. And I think it's important.
Rely on that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to get the opinions out there. Yeah, and I have a big platform where people's voices can be heard. But yeah, no. So I posted my review video and even said in the video, I'm like, we're in the golden era of the Pokemon TCG right now, especially with the online scene being so popular. Like before the pandemic, we never had like Play.Limitless and online tourneys dictating what's good at tournaments. Like the regionals that are now happening in real life are now, a lot of those metas are being heavily dictated by the online scene on Play.Limitless, which is just mental. So we're like kind of in the golden era right now. We're in this era where the online scene has to be as good as it can be. So we need live to be as good as it can be. So have y'all seen what the new, like what it looks like and what like the game board now looks like?
Yeah, I was watching you stream actually when you were
you were.
streaming.
I remember, you were in the stream last night.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it definitely had an upgrade. Some of the avatars are now gone. I really like that aspect of it. Yeah, exactly.
They're not looking into your soul.
Yeah, right. I mean, avatars are cool and all, but I just feel like that's not necessarily part of the game, so you don't need it.
Especially when they're that ugly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, between that, the
when
creepiness.
they're sitting there like...
Yeah, they're
and
like,
then they do the weird faces
soul, like...
instead of like the well played. They just like do like a dance or something like that. I don't know what they do. But I don't know. The graphics still for me could be tweaked a little bit. There were like some minor things that I noticed, like the backwards opponents cards. Not a super big fan of that, just because it looks awkward, because it's not how you play the actual card game, right? If I never saw the card game before and then I sat down at a card shop and played, I'm like, well, why is your Pokemon upside down? Isn't it supposed to be the other way? And just like little things like that, if they were trying to cater it more towards a newer player, I think that's the biggest takeaway for me. Is looking at all of these other games that are out there for mobile, and then you look at live and you say, well, if I'm a brand new person and I see one of my friends is playing Pokemon, and then I play this game, do I really want to play Pokemon? Is it energizing? Is it something that's going to make me excited about playing the game? And I think that the update definitely got better for sure, but I don't think that we're at the peak of where it should be. I mean, based on the amount of time that they've had.
Right. Yeah, I know. So, Lindsay, you haven't seen it yet. I mean, you're in the U.S. You don't really like have access to the game. I guess. Well, I guess PJ's in the U.S. too, but I guess PJ uses VPN or whatever to play. And I'm in Canada, so I actually do have access to it. Yeah. Like, so obviously, Lindsay, you weren't a big fan of Live either, like before the update or like when it came out.
Yeah, I just didn't like the way it looked. And kind of like piggybacking off what you said, PJ, like it translating to how the game is played IRL. I think that's more important than I even realized. You think about, who was the guy? I think his name's Andrew. He started playing online, like, during the pandemic, and then he just, like, did really, really well at Peoria, like, was in...
Yeah, PokeHawkeye.
Oh, okay.
That's, like, his, like, name was, like, PokeHawkeye, I think. Like, not his actual name, but, like, that's kind of, like, what people, like, refer to him as.
Yep.
Yeah, and so, like, he learned how to play online and then was able to translate that to playing in a regional and then doing really well in a regional. And, like, obviously, like you said... Like, I'd be sitting there if I was playing Pokemon Live and be like, how am I supposed to read the cards this way if, like, my opponent's reading them upside down? Like, does it mean something if you're the upside down player? Like,
yeah. What happens when they get confused? Do they turn right side up? You know, that's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's one of the crazy things. But yeah, I mean, the online era has grown so much. And I think that if they kept in the facet of, you know, keeping in that lane of online stuff, making it better than it's ever been before and really putting the development into it, they could technically have a whole separate championship circuit for online opposed to IRL. Ooh. If they, you know, did something like that. I mean, that's just an idea, but they have the tools there, and I just don't think that they're necessarily using them. Is it something that they just don't see the worth in, or what? I mean, there's definitely space. I would honestly pay to play if that was a thing that you could do, you know, put money into it. I've played other games, you know, Clash of Clans is one of them. I would spend hours playing Clash of Clans mobile because it was fun. It looked great. You know, there wasn't a whole lot to it, but it was still, you know, a fun game to play, and you could put money into it. So now you're generating revenue, right? Like that's the biggest thing is, you know, as a business person, I always see the back end value of things like that. And that's just something. Money. Yes, exactly. And Pokemon loves money, right? Money. I like money, but you can, you know, you do things like that, and you build this game, and you hire a whole development team, and it's just like little pieces. I get baby steps, I really do. Like I understand, hey, let's beta test it, but it's like you've had some time. Like let's pull up our big boy and girl pants and do our thing here. But.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, Pokemon is the biggest, like, global franchise, like, right now. Yeah. I mean, you got, like, Pokemon, you got Star Wars, Marvel, are, like, the three most popular, like, pop culture phenomenons in the world right now, I think, if I had to, like, guess. And Pokemon has billions of dollars. They are mega rich. They can easily invest into an actual... super good client, and Live was just not in. So my take on the update is, so I was playing it yesterday on stream. I've had experience firsthand of what it's like. So the game at first glance, it's actually looks better. They've updated the board. The board doesn't look the same as it used to before, so it's actually looks a lot more cleaner, and it looks a lot better, less stale, less bathroom floor tiley, as Mahone called it. The cards on the bench are now in the full size of the card, because when you benched a Pokemon before, it was literally like the artwork of the card. It looked really stupid. And they fixed that, and now the full card is now on the bench, which looks a lot more realistic. The game is a lot faster, and honestly, the more I thought about it, I'm like, maybe the game is a little too fast. Like, when your opponent plays a Marnie, it's like Marnie and then new hand. Like, it goes fast. Like, it's like takes 2 seconds for an entire Marnie animation to play, which is insanely quick. Like, before it was like 10 seconds. Now it's like 2 seconds. So I think maybe they should slow down the animations a little bit. It is a little fast, but like, I appreciate that it's not slow. Games actually can go by a lot quicker now. Even faster than PTCGO sometimes. Yeah. Which is pretty good. But, you know, not everything is perfect, obviously. I'm still not a fan of the clicking and dragging. There's a lot of clicking and dragging. When you play Sableye, you have to drag a single damage counter every time you do it. You got to go click and then drag and then click and then drag 12 times over. Well, there's the option to go like put 20 here, but it's just like so tedious. It's not like PTCG where you just click the Pokemon.
Yeah, I wonder what you have to do like on your phone or on like a tablet if you're playing. I wonder if you have to like drag it like that or if you can just click. Yeah,
exactly. And like and of course, y'all know me how to play Reggie. I tried out Reggie, and when you do Regigigas' ability, you have to drag all the energy to the Pokemon, which is weird because you can't Gigas to multiple Pokemon. It's supposed to be just one Pokemon, so
there's still bugs.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of clicking and dragging. I think it's a little too aggressive. Like PTCGO's obviously got some clicking and dragging, but it's not even that bad. Like Live is a lot more like aggressive with it, and I think they should fix some of the clicking and dragging stuff. And of course, the Pokemon are all facing one way. It still looks like your opponent's Pokemon are confused, which again looks pretty ridiculous. I'm not a fan of that. They need to also fix that. In fact, a lot of people were saying yesterday when I was streaming that they would be fine with watching PTCG live content if it was where it's at right now, if all they did was fix the Pokemon's rotation, like instead of it looking like it's confused, if they just made it look proper like it is on TCGO, a lot of people were saying they would actually have no problem watching live content, which is a good thing. Obviously, live is, a game that is going to come out soon. I imagine they said that I think by the end of the year they want to release the beta worldwide. Pretty sure TCGO will stick around for a bit after that, but like the game is like it's getting closer to its like fully launch release, whatever you want to call it. And the fact that people are saying that if they just like fix how the cards are facing, then it would be okay to watch. That's a good thing, because that's one of my biggest fears is I don't want my channel, I don't want anyone's channel to die because live content is not watchable and it like causes like views to go down and interest in the TCG to go down altogether. It's just not a good time.
Yeah, we're at such a rise where I think that, if it progresses in enough time and, say they even do launch it with a new standard, like that's their big goal for the new year. And it's what we want out of it. I mean, it really could cascade into this big thing that's online. I mean, if you look at all their other online platforms on Twitch and YouTube, Pokemon Go for one, Unite, like all their streamers have hundreds and thousands of viewers all the time. So it's there. It's just, can they make it in enough time with enough development? That's the bigger thing, the bigger picture there. I think with what you said too, I kind of like the clicking and dragging in a sense, because one, it gives that more real feel. So somebody that's learning how to play on live for the first time can kind of understand, okay, well, I have to pick up my damage counters and move them there, or I have to like physically move them. They just don't go on their own. And that from the online, pandemic era to go into an in real life tournament for the first time where you've been babysat for 2 years, just having that done for you and then having to relearn how to play with physical cards. I'm sure like Lindsay going into her first tournament after playing PTCGO, I mean, how did you feel having to do all those actions just out of the gate?
For me, I feel like it was the glowing cards thing that I kind of wish they would get rid of. I kind of wish they would get rid of the glowing cards, and I wish there was like a way to like put your own markers on something, like where you can like, or like maybe after you use an ability or after you use the stadium, then it puts a marker on it that like it was used. I feel like that is more realistic than it glowing. One, because like how many times have I accidentally forgotten to grab an energy with training court? But it's when it's glowing, I'm not going to miss it. But I think it'd be more realistic to have like the markers, like or like something, or maybe like it like a red board or something for it to show that it was done. Because I feel like that's more realistic. Because you usually have like those little counter things that you can put on to make it seem like, okay, I've done this action for the turn or whatever it be. And I'd be interested to see like with the dragging and clicking versus just the clicking. I would be interested to see if there was like any data collected on like how much it prevented misclicking.
Yeah. That would be that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if like maybe it like it made the online version of the game like more accurate in terms of like, I mean, how many times have y'all misclicked something in PTCGO?
Yeah, I do that a lot. Yeah,
I do that
especially when I'm like
too.
concentrated on reading chat or something, or trying to commentate a game.
Yeah, I get Kids GX.
It happens.
Sun jumps up in my lap. Oh, well, there goes that game.
Yeah, and like one of my dogs has like stepped on my iPad before to act like to end my turn or like something like that. And it's like I'm wondering if that actually like changes anything, but
It could. I'm just glad that they actually like improved the game, and I think that it's a step in the right direction. Still a long way to go. There's still a lot of problems with live outside of the gameplay. I still think the landing page, the homepage looks kind of soulless still, and they need to fix the pack opening animation. They got to make it look better. I don't know why it's also 5-card packs. I guess because like the 4-card limit is like still kind of like unrealistic. And then like I also think they need to fix the deck manager. And I know there's like some outcry on Twitter with like they need a ranked ladder, like a proper ranked ladder.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of things Live needs to do, but it's a step in the right direction, and it does give me hope that Pokemon are listening. Because I know they took the feedback from the content creators and like the community like pretty well. Because it was like we had some harsh criticisms. Like we said some things that were pretty like not like mean, but like kind of harsh, but kind of the reality of the situation. So I'm glad they're listening and improving upon the online client's quality.
Thank you so much for watching the Shuffle Pod. The Shuffle Pod's actually brought to you by all of these awesome sponsors like PokeXWord, PTCGO and Atlas TCG. You can check all of the links out down below, and you can also check out all of the promo codes that they have in the description as well. If you like all of that stuff and everything that has to do with Shuffle Squad, we encourage you strongly to check out our Patreon, where all of our creators and all of our pro team make articles that come out every single day, and you have an exclusive Discord and exclusive promo codes on the Patreon.
whoa.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah, PJ says that, practices that into his mirror every single night before bed.
There you go.
Some people
But
say their
speaking of
prayers. I talk about my...
Yeah, some people, they have everyone has their nightly rituals. I practice my Shuffle Squad sponsorships.
Same. I practice my intro and card crabbing sponsorship. That's how I know it off by heart all the time. That's how I'm so good at it.
But speaking of one of our sponsors, PokeXWord, I think it is time to guess that Pokemon.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So
Let's get it.
let's get it. So obviously, PJ, you know how to play the guess that Pokemon. You
I'm
don't need no
aware.
introduction. Okay. So I have picked a Pokemon today. So it is a Pokemon from Generation Numero 3, and it has 8 letters in its name.
8 letters in its name. Okay.
Pokemon from Gen 3 with 8 letters.
Gen 3. That's after Silver
to,
and Gold. Are we on...
I need to be able to type or write them out so I can
That's a good idea.
I can't see it in my head. 8
That's,
letters.
Yeah. That's why the first question is usually harder.
I'm
So you
trying
have
to think of
it.
even the starters from Gen 3. What was that? Were
Gen 3 starters. Wasn't that Chicory or
Chicory.
Chikorita's too.
not what's I can never remember.
Trico.
Oh, Trico, was that? It wasn't
Well, no,
with
what's the little
Piplup, right?
the little fire chick?
Oh, Torchic, or not Torchic?
Torchic.
Yeah, it's Torchic.
Yeah, that's
it?
who did I say?
Chick.
Chikorita. Oh yeah.
Chikorita.
Oh yeah, Chick.
The
Yeah,
Torchic, Torchic, Chikorita. I always get them.
I'm gonna.
And Mudkip. Yeah.
I'll. Let's see. You said 6 letters.
8.
8 letters. Wow.
8 letters.
8 letters, right? Oh yeah, 8 letters.
Is it, I think that Luicolo. Is it Ludicolo? That's 8 letters.
It is not Ludicolo. What do you got, PJ? Or do you want me to move on to the next hint?
Yeah, let's get another clue in us here.
Okay. It's a water type Pokemon.
And it's not.
Ludicolo. No,
It's
no,
not
no.
Ludicolo.
Is it Quagsire?
That's not Gen 3. That's Gen 2.
Oh,
Water Pokemon. Water Pokemon.
3.
See, this one's good because there's a lot of water Pokemon in Gen 3.
Oh wait, isn't Wailord? Wait, I don't know if that's
Wailord? It could be.
Oh.
No ORD. Wait, WAILO. No, that's not 8. It's not 8 letters.
Nope.
What else is in Gen 3?
I know, that's like where I stopped playing, and I'm like, I'm lost.
See, I picked Gen 3 because, like, yeah, there's a lot of water Pokemon. My first one was probably a little too easy, so I'm like, all right, let's choose a water Pokemon instead from Gen 3.
I don't know. I might have to get another hint. I don't know if I can even... I don't even know if... I'm trying to think of any other water Pokemon.
You want to get another hint?
Yeah, let's get another hint.
Okay. The next hint, let me see. All right, so Pokedex entry time. It came from overseas. It is a very hardy creature that will quickly proliferate even in polluted streams. Okay, that didn't really. I'll give another Pokedex entry because I think that was kind of bad.
So is it a fish?
It is a fish. Yes, it is a type of fish. So
it's not Wailord.
No,
what's the shark one? Sharknado, what's it called?
There's Sharpedo.
Sharpedo? I don't know how to even spell that.
Not Sharpedo.
No, not Sharpedo.
It's not. Is that even 8 letters?
It is a Pokemon that it's kind of like I kind of forgotten about. In all honesty, it's kind of like a more like forgotten type of Pokemon.
Oh, you made this real hard. I see how you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What's the one that kind of looks like a catfish? Oh, I cannot think of its name. It looks like a catfish.
The catfish thing is you use it for Reggies, right? To catch the Reggies. I'm pretty sure it's part of like catching the Reggies. I know what Pokemon you're talking about. I can't say the catfish Pokemon you're thinking of, but I know which one you're talking about. I think,
is it not that one?
It's not. No. It was It's not Relicanth. It's not. That's what it was. It's not Relicanth.
Okay, Relicanth.
Or Whiscash. Whiscash. Okay, no, it's not Whiscash. Not Whiscash.
Whiscash. That's what I was thinking of. That's one that looks
like. I thought you were thinking Relicanth. Even I don't even know what the heck you're
talking about. What kind of catfish Georgia got?
Bruxish
is not like Gen 5.
Yeah, I was going to say that's way older.
Do you want another hint?
Yeah.
Let's go for the last one. Big money.
It's an orange Pokemon. It's orange.
It's an orange fish.
An orange fish. It's a fish. It's not a it's an orange Pokemon, but it's not like a fish.
Is it
It's a type of fish? Wait, what?
Is it Corphish?
It is Corphish.
Wow.
Yeah, that lives in water.
Yeah. See, it's kind of like no one really remembers Corphish. It's like everyone, when you think of like a crab Pokemon, you think a Kingler crab, you know, like a Corphish Crawdon.
You know, I actually got more familiar with all the Pokemon when I was trying to think of emotes for me to do. And I was looking through all the Pokedex, and I was like looking at all these Pokemon, and I'm like, oh my god, I like do not remember this Pokemon ever existing. So I was actually thinking about something with Corphish, but...
did I tell you that I made an emote out of your face from the Mahone podcast? I put it in... If you look in our Discord server together, you are an emote.
Whose face?
Your face.
My face?
Yes.
Oh, dear Lord.
If you go on our Discord server, you can respond.
Oh, my God.
Let me see this. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, my God. That is actually hilarious. Well done. Well done.
I've had it for like a month now. But it's fine.
You've never noticed. Okay. That's kind of imagine one day you're just on the server and you just like you're doing an emote, you just see that.
I just spammed a few in there.
Good.
So people are gonna be like, what is she doing?
PokeXWord, the best place to get your fill of Pokemon inspired puzzles. New puzzles are posted every day, and they recently launched a new Guess That Pokemon puzzle, which is a ton of fun to play. Go check them out at PokeXWord.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter for your chance to win a ton of PTCGO codes every month.
But before we get to our main topic, talking about that Silver Tempest, make sure if you guys want to send questions for the chance of them being answered on next week's podcast, send them over to podcast@theshufflesquad.com. You can also send us suggestions, topic ideas you'd like to hear, and even recommend guests that you would like to see on upcoming episodes. So make sure y'all do that. Are y'all ready to talk about some Silver Tempest?
Oh, I am ready. My body is ready.
My mind's telling me no.
I want to start with some of these trainer cards that we have. Because that, to me, that's always the most exciting thing, because like you can obviously fit them in with, it's not all just about looking at like the new decks that are coming out. Like these trainer cards can fit well with a lot of the stuff that we already have going on for us. So just to look at some trainer cards. How do you guys feel about Candace? Do you think that like that's going to be good or better in Palkia once Palkia rotates?
I think yes, and here's why. I think it's good with Kyurem after rotation because we lose things like Bucket. We lose a Rangaroo. So now you can do Candace plus things like Switching Cups to get your water on the top deck. You can just pull out Pokemon in general. I mean, water Pokemon, they have so much support. I don't think that we're really losing that much. The downside to Candace, I think that we already have enough supporter cards for Pokemon. So jamming a Melanie and an Irida and a Candace into a deck, I mean, it's a lot.
Right. Now, for those listening, watching, if you haven't read or seen the card yet, Candace reads, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of water Pokemon and water energy cards you find there, put them into your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck.
Yeah, I think Candace is like kind of competing with Melanie and Irida, and they're already really strong. Not only is it competing with Melanie and Irida, like especially right off the bat when it comes out, it's also competing with Marnie. And then, of course, it'll compete with Boss. I'm not sold on it. As a one-of, like in Inteleon decks, I think it's actually pretty good. Because you can Inteleon for it. I think it will probably be good in Kyurem. I don't think straight Palkia is going to play Candace. It's like, theoretically, it is good. You can go, like, Candace, get a bunch of Pokemon, and then, use some of those drizzles you got off of a Candace to, like, go, like, Cross-Switcher. But I just don't think Candace is better than Irida. I think Irida is just a better supporter card for water Pokemon, but it's like a one-of. I think it's like decent, and I think Kyurem will definitely play 1 or 2 copies of Candace, but I don't think Candace is like that good. It's just like I think Irida is just a better Candace at that point.
Okay. I hear ya.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm saying this right. I'm probably not. Y'all can roast me for it if you would like to. What is it? Furisode girl?
Furisode girl?
Furisode.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looks like, when I read it, my brain's like furosemide. That's a medication, by the way. That's like total nurse brain, but like it looks like furosemide. So like I'm just going to call her furosemide girl. But I mean, I guess, that's kind of replacing like Quick Ball, sort of. It's like a Quick Ball and a Switch in one card.
Yeah.
I think that's a build and battle card. And what I mean by that is that when you go to play your pre-releases, that's a good card to have. But I think for the standard format, I mean, we just have Battle VIP Pass. I think that this card's going to see 0 play.
Yeah, I mean, it's good in like the one, what is it, Mall?
Mall.
V-Star. I think that one's like if your Pokemon, like if this Pokemon moved from your bench, the active spot, it does like 90 more damage, but like...
I think it's just kind of a bad Pokekid type of thing. I just think like at that point, I'd literally just rather play Pokekid. I don't know if like Post Rotation is going to make any waves. Because again, we got Ultra Ball, we got Battle VIP. It's just kind of one of those cards where it's just kind of underwhelming,
Yeah, and we got Serena too. I think Serena's going to be all right in Regidrago. I think it's going to make V unions good. You're able to discard 3 cards. So you can either discard up to 3 cards from your hand. If you discarded any cards in this way, draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So I think that's going to be super good. Maybe with V unions, maybe possibly with Regidrago, get some of those dragons in the discard. Yeah. Or you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V with their active Pokemon. All
right, hot take time. I think that this supporter is going to be the best supporter out of the entire set. I really do.
It's good.
I think well, if you look at Japanese meta, you just think post rotation, Mew VMAX. It screams Mew VMAX.
That's what I was kind of thinking too.
Yeah, it's just like that. Regidrago, you're right. I mean, it's just sky's the limit. I think that every deck is going to play at least one of these, if not 2, 3. I mean, I see it a lot because I pay attention to all the Japanese stuff. This is a very, very good supporter card.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah. I think it'll replace Marnie. I know that it's not a disruption card, but I think that like draw support wise, I think that this will inevitably
decluttering
replace.
Your hand. And the decks that can use it.
It's a multi-purpose card, and we've had good multi-purpose cards in the past. This is kind of reminds me of Tate and Liza, which was a pretty good supporter card back in the day when it was a thing. It was like shuffle, draw 5, or just switch your active. And this is kind of a similar effect where it's you discard up to 3 from your hand, and then you can draw cards if you have 5. So it's a weaker Karina, but you do get to thin your hand down to draw. So the other time, this card could actually turn into a draw 5.
Right.
And then also, you have like a pseudo boss. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon view if they're active. So you have like a weaker boss where you can gust out a V Pokemon, but like you can't gust out like a single, like a non-V Pokemon, like a Bibarel or a Comfey or something. It's just like you can boss Crobat, Lumineon, Arceus, Giratina. I think like, is it better than Marnie Research? No. In my opinion, I still think Marnie Research is better. But this is still like a pretty cool like 1 or 2 of to play. Kind of like how Raihan will be 1 or 2 of, or even something like Melanie in some decks. Like I think that Serena is, I think, still worth playing. It's good in Inteleon decks. It's one of those niche situations of borders that Inteleon decks can reap the benefit of. So it's not bad.
Yeah. We can move on. Oh, hey, Magnum. Get it out, buddy. I mean, Lance, that kind of has one purpose and one purpose only.
Get my boy out of the deck. Get my boy.
And you know what? You're grabbing 3 dragon Pokemon and just putting them in your hand.
Put them in your hand, yeah. It's good.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So excited to play a Dragonite in a deck you don't even know. And I get to possibly play 2 in a deck, and Lance really makes it happen. I think Lance will not see a heavy count in the Regidrago deck. I think it will be sprinkled in there, maybe 2.
Just like a little touch, you know.
Yeah, a little drizzle,
little sprinkle.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting supporter. I mean, you get 3 dragons, and Regidrago, if you don't know, you need to put dragon Pokemon in your discard. You can play Lance. You can get like Regidrago V-Star, 2 dragon Pokemon to throw away, and then you have like an Ultra Ball or a Quick Ball or I don't know, like a Meowth in play, and you can like discard those other dragons.
I was thinking with the doing it with the Meowth, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's not bad.
I'm only bringing up this one trainer card because Copium, riding on the Copium, Earthen Seal Stone, the rise of Jolteon VMAX once more. So it's a tool card, right? It's a tool card, but and so the tool card that it is attached, or the Pokemon that the tool card is attached to, you can use the V-Star power. So Jolteon VMAX being a VMAX Pokemon, not a V-Star power, or not a V-Star Pokemon, it doesn't have a V-Star power. And with Earthen Seal Stone, the V-Star power is an attack on it. So for 3 colorless energy, Star Gravity, put damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon V until they each have 100 HP remaining. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen.
I think go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think maybe you couldn't even do it that way. The Arceus double Jolteon package might be cute, but we're losing Inteleon. Getting the 3 energy for Jolteon, maybe.
Baby
hard.
Jolteon's not.
There is one way this card actually can work.
It doesn't have to go on the Jolteon, right? Because like that Pokemon is attacking with it, so it actually shouldn't be Jolteon that's attacking with it. Because
there's a really good Pokemon I'm going to bring up here that this card I think is actually going to work with.
Oh my god! Please tell me.
Galarian Zapdos V.
Yes. Yep.
LDF, you're a freaking genius.
Yeah, because like if you have Zapdos in play, this can be used for like 1 energy.
Right.
If like your opponent has 2 Vs in play.
Exactly.
And that's kind of insane. So you can go like Zapdos, Star Gravity, and the next turn do whatever you want. Lunala, Urshifu, Jolteon,
and
whatever.
It's a Jolteon counter too. So if somebody else has the same idea, there you go. Now you got a fighting Pokemon in play.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up early tonight. I gotta go hit the lab. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I see this card played with Urshifu as well. Because you already got 3 energy attachment, and you don't necessarily need tools on for Urshifu, and then you're just hitting stuff.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this card would be pretty broken if like VMAXs were still all over the place. Because
Right.
if your opponent had 2 VMAXs in play, you use this card, you can literally
Yeah.
just win with like Jolteon or Rapid Flow or something.
Right.
I mean,
So-
it's also like not bad in like the Lost Zone box, right? Like you Mirage Gate to something,
Yeah.
and then you can do that, and then you have Sableye to be able to like kind of finish off whatever. So like, I don't think it'd be bad in Lost Box either, because I mean, the
Well, you'd have to
single
use it with
prize
the V
Lost
Pokemon
Box-
though. It only works on V Pokemon, unfortunately though.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So it could be like situational, but I mean, you're not using a V Star in the Lost Box anyway, so it could be like a cute little thing, or you know, the Force Seal Stone as well. Since that one's an ability, you can just search your deck for any one card, put in your hand.
Well, if you,
Yeah, I guess that could lead us on
Like
to
a
that
half
one.
price
Yeah.
Arceus.
You could put Raihan in Lost Zone box. You can Raihan Twin Energy, play this down. Then you're just sniping your 2 prizers for the rest of the game. Realistically, you can put Cramorant out and just knock it out, right?
Yeah, or Sableye can spread to them 10 damage. You'd have 2 extra damage afterwards.
Right,
You can kind of like manipulate the mat there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
really good.
Earth and Sealstone's pretty cool. I'm excited to play it just to try out all the combinations, and I think playing it with Zapdos is like really clever. It's more of a late game card though. I feel like you have to play it in the late game. You can't use it in the early game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you gotta wait for your
definitely.
opponent to bench things. You probably want to play a couple horns with this card too. But I do like it. I think it's a pretty unique card, and of course the other stone, which is the other one, I think is going to see a lot more play, mainly because it makes Mew kind of broken. Of course, you can put on a Genesect, and you get to get any card out of your deck if it's on like a Genesect, and that's kind of insane for Mew. Obviously, Mew having the ability to get any card out of the deck is really good for the deck, and that's one of the reasons why Cremomatic is always so played in Mew, because it's the same effect essentially, right? So it's a
Yeah,
great
with the-
card to play Mew.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of going along with these tools here. I just want to touch on that leafy camo poncho. It's kind of cute. It's kind of like the Moon and Sun badge, but for any Pokemon. But it has to be attached to a V Star or a Pokemon V Max. So whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon. So essentially like an anti-boss.
Right.
That's pretty much it, right? Like an
Yeah,
anti-boss.
it's like the Moon and Sun badge. This card, if it actually takes off and becomes good, it could actually increase the popularity of Lost Vacuum and Tool Scrapper,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I think, this card will probably make cards like Tool Jammer and Lost Vacuum a lot more popular if this card actually takes off and becomes like as good as it could be. Because I mean, it's really good. Being able to not be boss is kind of insane.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Just
Does
saying-
not get around cross switchers, we know.
Yeah. I low-key purchased a whole bunch of Lost Vacuums for future formats when we all play together, just so we have extras, because I don't want to run into the Battle VIP Pass issue that we have currently going on now.
Oh, you mean that $5 luxury
Yes,
card?
exactly. Yes, the
Oh my gosh.
high-quality card that's bulk normally until it wasn't bulk anymore.
I was playing in a $10 tournament on Monday, and you get 2 packs for entry, and I got a Fusion Strike pack, and I pulled a Reverse Hollow VIP pass, so I just paid my entry fee off. So I just traded it, and I'm like, all right, there you go. Thanks for the entry fee.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for my entry. We have a couple more special energies coming out, 2 different colorless energies,
Yep.
which we will talk about, with the Lugias. The regenerative energies, mid, in my opinion. It's okay. It's very situational. As long as this card, so we know it provides an energy. Whenever you play a Pokemon from your hand to evolve the Pokemon V this card is attached to, heal 100 damage from that Pokemon. Like, it's okay. We
not
could
bad.
live without it. It's not bad.
It's basically Winden Stadium kind of on an energy, but you can use it with V stars.
Right.
It might not be bad in like Arceus or Palkia in those scenarios where like going second, they hit you and then you can heal 100 of that damage. Could be pretty relevant. I'm not sold on it though. Healing 100 is okay. Yeah, but I don't even know if healing 100 is that relevant, because this is only really good kind of in the early game. It's not bad though. It might see play. The one deck you would probably want to play it in, like, wouldn't even play it though, is like Blissey, but Blissey doesn't even evolve.
Right.
And that's like a deck where you could take advantage of it, but we'll see how it
we'll
will.
see.
Or
it
like
might
a
be super
Goodra, right?
situational.
Goodra might
Yeah,
be okay.
Gudra could play it.
But I think Goodra should play V-Guard energy. V-Guard energy is pretty good. So
Yeah.
the Pokemon this card is attached to, it takes 30 less damage the attacks of your opponent's Pokemon V.
Yeah.
So again, from Pokemon V, kind of like the Gardevoir, it only affects if you're being attacked by Pokemon V. And no, you cannot apply that effect of the energy card more than once. So you can't stack them up. They don't stack. But I feel like that would actually be pretty good in Blissey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this card is
it's
pretty
broken.
powerful. There's a lot of combos. You could even play with Arceus and Teleon.
Yes.
You can play it with Blissey, Lugia, Gudra probably will play
Mewtwo.
this. Gudra, you can.
Yeah, you can play it with Mew.
You can play
Did you
with
say
Mew.
Mewtwo or Mew as well?
Mewtwo V Union.
I saw like a post.
Oh.
I saw like a post somewhere where it's like you can play Mew with weak guard energy or whatever this is, whatever guard energy. Okay, you can play guard energy, full face guard, or Choreo, and I think apparently like Drapion can't one shot you.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah.
I think this card's going to be very good. You're going to see it on a lot of decks. If again going back to the Japanese meta, there was like 3 or 4 Mewtwo Arceus decks that played this energy and just won big tournaments over there. So it's very good. I think that this card is going to see a lot of play.
I agree.
What card I think is going to see a lot of play, and honestly, I think it's like one of the best stadiums. That might be a super hot take, but this might be one of the best stadiums that's been printed in a while. Primordial Altar. I mean, it's Primordial.
Primordial. You had it right.
Altar.
Primordial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we had it right. Primordial Altar. Once during each player's turn, that player may look at the top card of the deck. They may discard that card.
Yeah, pretty good.
Free knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, like Regidrago, discarding it, get some dragon energy.
Normal
in
Reggie
there.
can play it.
Normal Reggie can play it. Like, and Mew would be pretty good in Mew.
Yeah,
Lost
like,
box, I think.
I feel like that's just lost.
Yeah.
It's just a good stadium, right? Like, it's just a good stadium. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what deck this would be like bad in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you may discard it. Like you may.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
But
I think
you
it's
can.
a good like Pokestop replacement too. For decks that are kind of like mid for playing Pokestop, you just kind of swap it out for this, and it's infinitely better for certain situations. But it also depends on the deck too. Like I think without a Rangaroo, if we don't have that like swap your top card type of card in play, other than I think Switching Cups, there might be another card coming out too that does that too. But it's not awful by any means. I think this is definitely a playable,
No, it's not.
playable stadium.
Like it can be pretty good in a lot of situations, and I'm assuming that if you don't want to discard it, you put it back on top.
Right.
Yeah. It's not bad. It might have a bit of steep competition with Training Court, Lost City, Path to Peak.
But
But
like not every deck. Like I feel like it's just such a good general
card,
good general stadium. I feel like I don't know why I like it so much, but I do.
It's just like a draw support engine. It's a minor.
It can be a free one draw.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw
And
one free card from your deck.
And Lindsay, I think that what was it last stream that you had? You saw Sun and Moon Rangaroo for the first time, right? That the Rangaroo that draws.
And I was like, "This isn't good," and everyone was like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" And I'm like, "What?
got their
Drawing until you have
pocket
3
protectors.
cards in your hand? Like
That sounds stupid. I'll draw until I have
that's
6
not
cards
good.
over and over again with Mew VMAX. But no, I mean, a Rangaroo was like, it was draw 1 most of the time. That sometimes, maybe you draw 2, but it was one of the best draw supports in the format for its time. And I mean, this could...
single or basic Pokemon.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a real big slowdown after this rotation, too. Decks are going to move a lot slower
okay
for a
with
little
that.
while.
Same. I'm okay with it too.
I am okay with that. I feel like I came at the fastest time of
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
TCG.
Well,
where like the games
yeah,
were
you
just
did.
played
Right,
fast.
right after the fastest time, because you missed ADP.
Yeah,
Well,
ADP was
thank
pretty fast.
goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
You would not
pretty
have liked
fast. Don't get me
ADP,
wrong, but ADP was like, oh, well, I lost. Next game, and then you just
Yeah.
queue into the next
ADP
game.
was insane.
Yeah,
ADP could win in 3 turns. It was crazy.
Have you all taken a look at some of those Radiant Pokemon that we got?
Yeah.
We're getting some new Radiants.
Yeah, the new Radiants are pretty good.
Yeah, the
I
new
know.
Radiants ain't bad. The Radiant Serena's kind of cute.
All right, so yeah, Radiant Serena has the ability Elegant Heal. It says once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. Not just one, but each of them. I think that that's pretty good. It does have the Perfume Shot attack, 90 damage, remove all special conditions from this Pokemon. So if it's confused, burned, whatever, you can remove those. I think it's okay. I think the heal element of Serena is meh. I'd have to see some more healing things that go into that. It's also another Goodra tech. You add that in with your Goodra. You put your Crystal Cave, your Serena down. Now you're healing 50 damage a turn.
50 damage.
Not so bad.
Yeah. I think that could be better than the Gardevoir, especially with the V-Guard energy, where, I mean, we can take the 30 less damage from the Vs and then just, like, add the extra healing. I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. Heal with, like, Crystal Cave and stuff. I agree.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, if Spread was really popular, this card would be kind of broken to counter Spread decks.
It could mess up Sableye a little bit. It could mess up some Sableye math.
That is true, actually. This card could be a good counter to Sableye.
I'm not sure how much 20 damage is going to help, but...
It depends if the Sableye, like, spreads it out too much. Then, like, if they go, like, 50 here, 20 here, you can go, like, all right, Serena, I'm going to heal... You can essentially heal, like, 60 damage off of a 120 attack. Like, you can... Depending on how the Sableye spreads their damage out, you can cut that attack, like, either in half or even by healing by 20, so... I thought about it at first. I'm like, this card's probably just a worse Gardevoir. But the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah... It's not bad against Sableye, and that is pretty relevant. You can stack it with other healing cards, too, like Cook, Crystal Cave. So it's not bad. I think it's decent.
Yeah. I'm kind of psyched about Radiant Jirachi. I feel like it's going to be kind of disgusting. Kind of absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
Make a wish. This Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Meaning you're getting those cards at the beginning of your turn, essentially.
Yeah.
Like they're not getting Marnie, they're not, whatever. And then LDF, tell me why I can see you right now. You already know what I'm about to say. I can literally see you like playing this on a YouTube video for 2 colorless energy. Stellar Disaster. And that's exactly what this card is going to do. Flip 2 coins. If both of them are heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out.
It's pretty cool. It's Cleaver, but better. It's a better Cleaver. Yeah, it's only a 1-of, but you have Heavy Ball, you have Clara, you have O-Rod. It still works with a double turbo and a twin energy, which is really, really good.
Yeah, because it doesn't even do damage. Like
exactly. I mean, it gets knocked out. You just go get Rod, Quick Ball, double turbo, and then
like
boom.
It's kind of disgusting. Is Glimwood Tangle rotating?
It is, yes. But I mean, when it comes out, when this card comes out, Glimwood will be legal.
Like month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could see it in like Zoroark box, right? You could see it played just like the Cleavor Zoroark, and you put it in there, and you've got the DTEs already, so it doesn't matter. And you just flip your coins and hope that you hit heads, and then at the end of the game, you're still doing a draw, so you're basically doing a Raihan at the end of your turn because it gets knocked out of your opponent's turn. You can fish for whatever cards you need. You can put Slowpoke into play, Slowbro, and then just win the game at the end. I think this card's really, really good.
Yeah, like you can literally get the cards you need to like get Jirachi back out and like do it again.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's shut off by Path, which kind of sucks, but even then, like, you could still use it, and, like, you can honestly use it in any deck almost that plays, like, double turbo, because if your opponent is, like, bossing around it, you have more time to try to knock them out with that effect of the attack. So,
and it's 90 HP. It's the first, is it the first Radiant? Yeah, Level Ball.
I think it is.
Rescue Carrier.
No, Hawlucha. I think at 90.
Oh, okay.
Hawlucha's 90.
So, I mean...
But the fact it is Carrier. Why I say Rod? Rescue Carrier is even better.
Carrier, Level Ball, all of that.
Yeah, it has Carrier, it has Level Ball, it has... it has a lot of synergy. Yeah, no, it's good, it's good. The more, like, that is kind of insane. Like, I didn't realize it actually worked with Carrier.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you can use a Rod, you got Clara, you got Carrier.
You just try it again.
Better. Yeah.
But I'll say, I'm actually, I don't know how. Boys, mommy's busy. I don't know how I could be even more excited for another Radiant card, but Radiant Alakazam, first of all, tell me how and why I got absolutely bodied by a Mimikyu VMAX Hisuian Typhlosion deck on the ladder. Tell me why it absolutely bodied me. Radiant
That's
Alakazam's
interesting.
ability, Spoon of Pain. Once during your turn, you may move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another of their Pokemon. So Hisuian Typhlosion V-Star's V-Star powers attack for 1 psychic energy. If the active Pokemon has exactly 4 damage counters on it, it just gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so maybe this can make Hisuian Typhlosion good. I mean, with Mimikyu VMAX, it was kind of cute. I mean, it bodied me. I was like stunned. And
That's
the
kind of
attack,
insane.
the attack isn't bad either. For 2 energy of Psychic and a colorless Mind Ruler, it does 20 times for each card in your opponent's hand. I mean, think of those Lost Box hands when they have like 15, 20 cards in their hand.
Yeah. And then Marnie's rotating out coming the new year. I mean, this card is going to be... I love Alakazam. I've always loved Alakazam. And I used to love like the base
It's a cool
set.
Pokemon. It's iconic, yeah.
You know, base set Alakazam, you can move damage counters around your own board, and then you used to pretty much Cheryl it off with Pokemon Center. This card is just screaming something like that to happen, like some sort of deck for you to move things around and annoy your opponent and then just knock it out. I think that's going to be what makes the Typhlosion actually work, if it does, because it definitely doesn't work now, I'll tell you that. normal matches, it's just not good. So I think that
it can be good in not Zoroark. What is it,
Samurott, or Crabominable V. You could use
The
that.
big one I thought of is Inteleon VMAX. Because you can go double
VMAX?
Gunner,
Yes.
and then you can turn that 20 into 40 on one Pokemon.
Yeah, because Double Gunner doesn't... Well, the ability of the Rapid Strike Inteleon VMAX puts it on the bench. Now you can take it from the bench and move it up front.
And move it to the active. Yeah.
That's
and then
really
the
cool.
same thing with... I mean, this also goes well with Sableye, right? I mean, especially if you're just like needing those couple extra damage counters to take those knockouts. And I mean, you can.
It could be good in Lost Box too. I mean, that's kind of
absolutely.
like
All right.
That's the Sableye that I meant.
Here's the big brain play, right? Ready? I'm going to extend my head one more. And you play it in Mewtwo V Union after you've spread damage counters.
Yeah.
When a VMAX hits into you, you move the 20 damage counters to the VMAX, then hit it for 300.
That's really smart. That could be good in like the Mewtwo Arceus deck.
Yeah.
Because that was the one thing I don't like about Mewtwo V Union is I sometimes always fall short on that KO.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea because you can go Alakazam and then knock out with Final Burn.
Right.
You're healing and you're KOing them. That's pretty smart, yeah. Alakazam, I'm excited for this card. This is like a card that has a lot of creative potential, and cards that have a lot of creative potential, like Alakazam, I really enjoy. It's another reason why like Radiant Greninja, Radiant Charizard are so popular and good because they have such a wide variety of ways you can play them and pair them with stuff. That's why they're so successful. This is another example of like, it's a one of Radiant Pokemon you can put in your deck that has a lot of power and a lot of potential with partners like Charizard and Greninja do, which is what I like about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm super psyched for it.
Yeah.
But we can really kind of start to talk about these main like archetypes and decks that are going to be coming out. I know everybody's got their butts on fire about Regidrago and Lugia.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh my god, Regidrago's going to be BDIF, and some people are like, you're crazy if you think it's going to be that good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good.
So
Yeah, Drago's interesting. I think that it's not as good as Mewtwo Tag Team GX. It doesn't have Welder, and it has a Welder-like card with Gardenia, but Gardenia is not Welder.
yeah.
I don't think Gardenia is that great in it, to be completely honest with
Too
you.
slow.
Yeah.
You're only drawing 2 cards, and you have
And
to...
You
There's
have
no
to have the grass
Dedenne
energy in your
GX.
hand.
Yeah.
Honestly, Regidrago would be good if Dedenne existed. If you
yeah.
had Gardenia, Drago,
Yeah.
Dedenne, that would make Regidrago work if you had if you had Dedenne in the format. Dedenne's on the format. The best thing is Crobat, which is not Dedenne.
No. And then Crobat's rotating out too. I think Drago is good in theory. So I think it, again, is another Arceus deck, to be honest with you. It's another Arceus pairing deck that you'd have to put Arceus as the main engine. I mean, look at Goodra in general. Goodra is much better paired with Arceus than it is on its own. I mean, there's testing to go behind that says that, but I think that getting all of the energy, you need 2 grass energy and 1 fire energy to make the attack happen where you can copy any of your dragon Pokemon that are in your discard pile. I think it's very powerful. Don't get me wrong. Once you get it rolling and online, if you don't get knocked out, you are smooth sailing through any matchups that you can think of, because you've got shred attacks, you've got powerful attacks, you've got Oko attacks, you've got annoying attacks. The sky's the limit because it is a box style deck, but the energy cost is just, it's up there.
Yeah, I do agree that it is going to need, like, LDF and I were talking about this, not like the other day, really. Like we were saying, I think the Arceus build is going to be a little bit better. Yeah. I mean, the V-Star power is not bad for Regidrago. It's you may discard 7 cards from the top of your deck. You may choose up to 2 cards from your discard pile, reveal them, put them into your hand. Yeah. But, like, you can just get any 2 cards you want with Arceus. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where, like, you can use it. You can use that V-Star ability. Right. But when I was doing a little bit of digging to try to find some of those dragon Pokemon, I did find Dragonite. So the Dragonite, the single prize Dragonite from the set that's coming out from Silver Tempest, what it does, Energy Hurricane. It does 180 damage, and then you search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. Yep. But so once you get the one set up, you kind of got them all set up. It's really
good. I mean, I love Dragonite. Dragonite's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. I think that this card is very good in the deck. It's the initial setup of your first Regidrago before your Palkia is set up, before your Giratina is set up, you know, all of these other for your Kyurem setup. To get your 2 energies, there are cards. There's cards from Battle Styles. I forget. It's Cherrim, maybe, that can attach. But
Cherrim doesn't work with Drago.
It doesn't work with Drago, right? And then there's Eldegoss, too, that can search energy cards, so you could use that with Gardenia. It's a lot.
Well, there's a few other ways I've seen Drago being talked about. So you got the Arceus variant, obviously. Yeah. You have Gardenia, but the other variant that people have talked about is playing with the Lost Zone engine. Okay. Get Mirage Gate activated. Yeah. It's not bad.
I could see that.
You gotta be careful, though.
I thought about that, too.
Yeah. You just gotta be careful, because you might Lost Zone away up an attacker, but you can realistically get a turn 2 Mirage Gate going if you just, like, you know, you just go comfy spam. Don't know if you have enough room for everything, because you do have to play a lot of the big dragon Pokemon. Right. But in theory,
the switching cards, and you know, there's a lot.
Yeah, because Regidrago's a big boy through retreat costs.
Very big boy. Yeah, if you're playing this card, you have to play it at least with like 2 or 3 switch or something. The other way to play it is with Leafeon. You go Leafeon attach, Dragonite, and then you're set up for the game.
See, I like that idea, because Leafeon, even if you don't use the V-Star, which I don't think that you really need in Regidrago, you can use the V-Star ability off of Leafeon V-Star, and now you're sniping people and one-hit knocking out their Pokemon. So
Welcome to the Shuffle Squad, the Leafeon propaganda.
Leafeon SLC, I'm still calling it. Hopefully I'm right by the time this podcast airs, but I'm still saying Leafeon's going to happen. We'll see some. But
I would.
It's a secret Shuffle Squad deck all the members are bringing to Soleil. Leafeon, VMAX, Leafeon, V-Star.
I can leak it now because it's after SLC, right?
That's true, it is.
Yeah, but I really do like that Dragonite. I think that Dragonite is going to be super, super good.
I really, I can't wait.
I think the Leafeon version is a lot better. I feel like that's the way to go, because it's more low maintenance, right? If, you just play like 2 Leafeons, 4 VIP.
Exactly.
Hit it turn 1, you set up Drago turn 2, and then you Dragonite to another Drago, and that's about it. So that might be the way to play it, actually.
Yeah, you play it like Bibarel, Leafeon, Drago, and then just run that engine to the ground. Play Battle VIP. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's really good.
Yeah. The thing is with Drago, though, is how do you beat... You have to... I think the list has to have a way to beat Palkia, though, because Palkia is still Palkia, right? It can still do Palkia things if you go second or if they go first. So I still think that Drago has a lot of potential. The amount of attackers you can copy is really insane. It just comes down to whether or not you have a good Palkia matchup. It depends.
Right.
Because you can copy Gudra. Copying Gudra is very good. Gudra is obviously super popular and good against Palkia. You can do that minus 80 damage against that. You can also play like Nets. You could play like Net Mew in the Drago list, and you could like use Net to like Net Guru Mew, and you can like kind of reduce Palkia's damage output and stuff like that. So there are ways around it. Gudra's good. You have Giratina as an option to attack with. You have a Shred attack with Giratina. You could also play Duraludon.
So, I was going to say, like, with the Giratina, because originally my first thought was like, oh, well, Giratina Shred Attack, but Duraludon VMAX Shred Attack. One, does more damage. Two, you're not going to start with Duraludon VMAX because you can't.
Exactly. That's why Duraludon might be better than Tina.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I think Tina, V-Star, and Duraludon both belong in the deck. For obvious
I'm not
reasons.
sure about Tina V-Star actually. I don't know about that because
there are other Pokemon, there are other Dragon Pokemon that do like 250, 280.
Yeah. You got Flygon, right?
Yeah, Flygon. But the problem with Flygon and Garchomp, you have to discard energy. So how are you going to get another Regidrago going? That's why I'm not
you
like
have to
sold
have one
on
ready.
it.
Or you play.
But I'm kind of iffy about those.
You could play Dragonite V-Star in the deck too, because that'll hit for what's a 250 plus a choice bell.
Yeah, and then you can't attack.
Yeah.
But you can play Switch. I think the Drago deck has like if you play a Mew Engine build, you can probably get away with like 4 Switch and play like an Escape Rope. You could even play Cross Switcher.
Right.
In the deck too.
You could play what was that one from Fusion Strike? It all depends on the meta too, but you could play
there's
Latias. Yep. So
I think Latias is a good one of it beats like those raw VMAX decks and especially on the ladder when there's like weird like lists. Like I think it's good against VMAX. There's a lot of other dragons out there. Trying to think. I know Gudra, Tina, Duraludon, Garchomp, Flygon, Latias. There's a Zygarde from Evolving Skies that does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each prize card. I think they have taken or you have taken. It's one of the two. But I think in the late game you can use Zygarde. You can copy Zygarde, snipe for 160. So you have like a snipe attack, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for it. I think the Primordial Altar will be good in it too. Like, you know, if you just happen to have that Dragon Pokemon on the top of your deck, you just bam, put it in the discard pile.
Yippers. Because that's the thing I have about Red Drago. It's hard to discard Dragon Pokemon.
Yeah.
Dragon Pokemon have had support before. Mysterious Treasure, Cherish Ball was really good in the Mewtwo decks, but Dragons don't have that immediate search like they do now. You have Ultra Ball, you have Adventurous Discovery to find them, you have Burnett.
Lance.
Burnett might have to, I think you Lance, Burnett. You have to just find
Familiar
a way.
Bell.
Familiar
Bell discarding.
But that's when you use multiple dragons, so because you'd probably play one of each dragon. I imagine.
That's right. Yeah, it has to be a Pokemon that's already in your discard pile.
There's Evolution Incense. There's you could play like a V-Star power that might help you. Drago's V-Star might be the way to go. But yeah, if Drago can figure out how to get dragons going in the discard fast, then I think the deck has a lot of potential. I'm really excited for it. I'm probably going to build and play it right away because I'm just like, I have high hopes in this deck. I really want to make it work, and I'm excited.
The Reggies go?
Nope, never. I'm going from. I'm still probably going to play Reggie for Toronto. Just like I think Reggie's probably not dealt with Silver Tempest.
That's true. That is true.
Speaking of Reggies, though, there is Reggie Alecki.
Yes.
Yes, we should quickly talk about. This card is pretty good. Reggie Alecki VMAX. The attacks of your basic lightning Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And this ability does stack.
Yeah.
And I think we all know the Pokemon that this card is going to see play with.
Number. Yeah, 30 is definitely a good number.
Yeah, and
especially
it stacks.
with that Zapdos.
Yeah, it stacks.
Well, with Zapdos,
Zapdos.
You have the Pogo Zapdos, you have Vikavolt.
Vikavolt's what people are hyping up. Vikavolt Regieleki could actually be a serious contender.
Oh, yeah.
Because Vikavolt can go from doing 50, you slap a choice belt on it, doing 80.
Yep.
Regieleki, 110. 2 Regieleki, 140. All of a sudden, you're 2-shotting, 1-shotting Palkias, and 2-shotting B-Stars.
Yeah.
And you're item locking them.
Right. And it has free retreat, too, right?
Ew.
Exactly.
Yeah, Regieleki does have Regieleki VMAX. The V does
Has
not, but
retreat,
the VMAX
Yeah.
does.
So they try to boss stall you. Not going to happen.
Even
I can do some
Regieleki
control
isn't.
with that.
Yeah. Even Regieleki's attack isn't bad. I mean, it does 220.
Right.
You build that up. I mean, 220 isn't terrible damage. You can use it to KO Vs and stuff. So I think Regieleki Vikavolt is going to be a potential deck. And there's other lightning Pokemon you could maybe pair with, but I do think that it's pretty good with Vikavolt. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah, 220 is pretty good, with the free retreat, and it's one lightning, two colorless. So, you can always do the double turbo.
And then stop the twist belt on. Yeah. I think Aleki's pretty good.
I am pretty excited about Lugia V-Star, though, I will say.
Yeah.
I will say that ever since V-Stars came out, I'm kind of like turned away from V-Maxes. I just think that I really like the V-Stars.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for Lugia V-Star.
The big thing with Lugia, you go on, PJ?
Oh, I was going to say, I think that Lugia V-Star has untapped potential that I don't even know if we're going to see in this set, but there's a lot that can happen with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it being weak to lightning is kind of interesting because it's not. It actually has that fighting resistance, so it's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's really good for that ability, right? The ability assemble star during your turn. You may choose up to 2 close Pokemon for discard, and except for Pokemon with the rule box, and then put them on your bench. And this card pairs really well with Archeops. Archeops, baby. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 special energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Archeops Lugia could become a thing. I don't know if Lugia is the main attacker, but you can play Archeops with all kinds of different cards. You can play it with Aurora Energy. You could play it.
I don't know. I feel like that is like 220, and like you can get what? You can get like powerful energies on there.
Guard energy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I think Lugia Archeops is good. The only problem that I have with the deck is getting the Archeops in the discard fast enough. Kind of treat it like Gengar with the Zoroark deck, kind of, where it's like you need to get that into the discard ASAP. You probably want 2 in there so you can take full advantage of Lugia's V-Star power.
Like, I wonder if you still play it with the fossils and the stage 1, just to like try to also set up another.
Yeah, I think you definitely want
another way to get it as well. And my only thing about it is, I mean, how are we necessarily getting those energies back? Are we doing like Roseanne's backup? Are we doing Silene?
Yeah, that's the problem. There's no special charge in the format, and there's also like no like recycle energy or anything. It's just you got powerful, you got the guard energy, you got draw energy, lucky energy, gift energy. You can't get the back
energy
though,
so broken you can't play it on PTCGO.
Yeah, literally.
Man, this is an expanded.
This card, Archeops and expanded is kind of nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Lugia Archeops is a potential deck. It might be one of those decks though where it's like people look at it, it's like, oh, this has to be good, and then it comes out, it's like, it's kind of just a mid deck, kind of like Rayquaza VMAX. It's kind of like Rayquaza in a way where it's like, I think it's good, but I don't think it's going to be as good as people are making it out to be.
I still call it the Wish.com of Arceus VMAX or V-Star. Arceus V-Star.
V-Star, yeah. Lugia is kind of Wish Arceus.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if it's going to be.
Yeah.
I feel like in theory it's going to be good, but it's kind of like you said, like just getting all that out fast enough to be able to attack. But 220 is a good number, with powerful energy. Even just with 2 powerful energy in a belt, you're knocking out most V-Stars.
Exactly.
Actually, all V-Stars, I think. 2 powerful energy in a belt, you're hitting for what, 290?
290, yeah. Yep. And then you have like maybe potential Goon Pings and stuff. I think Lugia's it's decent. It's kind of like you said, the Wish Arceus, where Arceus is maybe better, but you can still use Lugia with like Archeops with like an Aurora Energy style toolbox deck, and you can play extra counters like Zamazenta, Zapdos, Drapion. I don't know, just like spitballing ideas here, but the potential for Lugia Archeops is there. Like the basis for like a core strategy of an idea of the Lugia getting Archeops in a play and then using Archeops to combo with other cards, it's there. And I think it's got potential for sure. I think it will see some play. I think somebody may have a cool idea and a cool concept to make this work. You can use Archeops with, single strike energy, something that you could maybe consider. You can use it with rapid strike energy.
Yeah.
You can use it with fusion strike energy.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that. Double Archeops into a quad fusion energy, turn to Meloetta 280 damage.
Or Ice Q.
Yeah.
Fusion Strike Ice Q.
Yeah. So the creativity and the potential's there. And I'm excited to see what people come up with.
Yeah.
There's something to Lugia in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. We're at a good time too.
Yeah, we are.
See, now that's got me hyped. I actually printed off all my proxy. To start making these tabletop decks. Oh, we didn't even talk about Capture Aroma. Capture Aroma is pretty good. It's kind of replacing Quick Ball for the most part.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
Evo Incense.
But it would flip a coin.
Evo Incense. Yeah.
Sort of. Like, yeah. If you what is it? If it's if it's heads, you get an evolution Pokemon. If it's tails, you get a
Tails,
basic Pokemon.
basic Pokemon, yeah. So not terrible.
No, not bad. Not bad for once quick ball rotates.
Can you use it to get your Archeops in the discard pile? I think that's a way you get it, and then you use quick ball or use ultra ball, and then put it right in the discard pile, and then Lugia your way to success.
Another way to put Archeops, actually, you could go Guru with the new stadium.
Yes.
You can go Primary Wisdom Archeops from your hand on top, and then boom, discard it, and just like that. Archeops in your discard pile.
Big feels bad if you end up prizing.
Serena isn't bad either if you just got one of them.
Right?
Yeah. I agree.
I am really excited to just see the Thornton. I feel like is one of the is such a good supporter. I feel like it hasn't been used to its potential.
Oh
yet.
no, not at all.
I think I talk about this every podcast.
The weird thing with Thornton is I'll be playing a game against somebody who's playing like a Giratina deck, and in those scenarios, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if they just Thornton me here, I just flat out lose the game. I've been in so many scenarios where my opponent is they literally win the game if they play Thornton. If they can go Thornton Giratina. But every time that happens, I'm like, do they have a Thornton? But then they don't play a Thornton. I'm like, oh, thank heavens, because I easily could have lost a Thornton.
Yeah.
I put a Thornton in my Giratina deck, and it's insane.
Yeah. Thornton Mirage Gate is
very
disgusting.
Yeah, it's hard to play around Thornton. The fact that you can Thornton and still evolve in that same turn is really good, and I am scared of Thornton. And there could be some Thornton potential with the new set. Maybe Thornton could see playing Regidrago if there's a really good dragon basic Pokemon that you could maybe play it with. So I don't know. There's definitely ideas.
And if you start with some of those other attackers that you're not meaning to, if you start with the Garchomp V, the Flygon V, you can just reverse plan, get the Regidrago in the discard pile, and then Thornton onto it once you get the energy. So it's
you could even
I think Thornton is just so good.
You Leafeon, you expect the boss, right? You use Leafeon V, put energy to itself, attach energy to a Regidrago. Now you're baiting. Something gets knocked out, you Thornton to it, and then evolve into a Regidrago V-Star and start swinging.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I definitely. I might or might not have gotten my full art Thorntons. Just saying, while they're $3
might as well.
each.
Gardenias too. Gardenias Vigors are super cheap right now.
Yeah, that's because it's a bad stadium.
Oh no,
or a bad supporter.
Well, yes, now it is it's a bad supporter now. But if it sees play in Regidrago, and that
this is talking about Silver Tempest is making me excited for Toronto and the other future regionals next year. The idea of just the format having these new cards actually make me excited. I think Drago will probably be the first deck I build IRL from Silver Tempest because that's the deck that I have. I think I'm gonna have the most fun with playing. Right. Just the amount of options and stuff is pretty cool.
Toronto, correct me if I'm wrong. That's the first legal format with Silver Tempest, right?
Yeah, Toronto, I think is the 7th, 8th of December, something like that.
Stop, you're making me want to go.
Just come.
I know.
Go. But yeah, no, Toronto's going to be really, really fun now because Silver Tempest will be legal and we get to see what the meta looks like.
I know.
I think Tempest would have been legal for about 3 weeks when Toronto goes out. So we'd have enough time to kind of see the meta kind of evolve. It won't be
we'll have online play a lot.
Yeah, we'll see how the meta kind of adapts to the new format, I think, before Toronto. So it won't be new set comes out, new regionals right away. We'll have a bit of time to kind of see things kind of adapt, which is nice.
It's kind of familiar to me in the sense that it's like a Worlds format change because you usually, right before Worlds, or how it used to work, is that you get a brand new set, but there's also rotation. This way, you're just getting a brand new set, and you have a few weeks to theory craft without a big tournament.
Make busted decks.
Right. And then just bring it to play and surprise somebody.
Yeah. I agree.
Turn over some crazy stuff. Well, I'm excited. So I think that's a pretty good spot to wrap it up, and we can definitely talk about some of these other cards and their text with some of our future episodes. There's just too much to cover in one podcast episode.
Yeah, too much.
But I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we might get to see some Silver Tempest stuff in Japan, and we can maybe talk about what decks might be performing well from Silver Tempest in Japan. We could see how Regidrago and Aleki V-Star, how Lugia V-Star kind of adapt to that meta. But I think it's a good time to wrap things up here. Pretty good conversation. We talked about TCG Live. Of course, TCG Live, the future is looking brighter than it did before. We talked, of course, about Silver Tempest and all the new cards that are getting the most amount of hype and attention. And Tempest is not that far away. It's less than a month away now,
No, it's crazy.
which is pretty crazy. Yeah, the gap between Lost Origin and Tempest was very short, so that's exciting. But do you have any closing thoughts?
I think I'm all good.
Yeah.
How about you, PJ?
Super excited, as always. Thank you both so much for having me here on the pod. Love doing these set reviews also and getting pumped for the newest tournament. And if you haven't yet, go check out our sponsors. You need to do it. No, and subscribe to the Shuffle Pod because it's the best place for Pokemon-related podcasty stuff, and you have these awesome hosts here as well.
Exactly. But I think without further ado, that'll be it for us. We will be back, of course, next Thursday with episode number 13. I think we're going to have another
lucky
big
13.
guest. Yeah, lucky number 13. We got to do something crazy. But we'll be back with another special guest for that episode. I think that'll be it for us.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get it!
Let's get it.
Peace out.
Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at PTCGOstore.com.
PokeXWord, the best place to get your fill of Pokemon-inspired puzzles. New puzzles are posted every day, and they recently launched a new Guess That Pokemon puzzle, which is a ton of fun to play. Go check them out at PokeXWord.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter for your chance to win a ton of PTCGO codes every month.
Check out the Late Night Series Season 6, brought to you by myself, Zach Lesage, and the Shuffle Squad. We're going to be running a bunch of sick events for the Pokemon community, and they start on August 30th. So one thing you might be noticing here is that there's an EU time and an NA time. We have one at 12 p.m. Eastern, which works out to about 5 p.m. in London. And then we have one at 7 p.m. Eastern, which should help out a lot of players on the West Coast play in this event. That being said, we still have a lot of cool things going on. Expect similar prizing that we've had for other Late Night Series events. Expect better staffing, expect better tournament experiences, and of course we do have a stream going up for this season as well, and I will be streaming the event on Twitch. That being said, we have the whole season up on the Play Limitless website. Late Night 51 all the way through 70 runs until we hit the Invitational on November 5th. So check that out, sign up today, and support Zach Lesage Events and the Shuffle Squad. See you there.